Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics X Non-Classic. This is episode number 213, and Doubleshot number 147. Okay. First up, it is Superman, the third Kryptonian. Pretty much the majority of these issues are written by Kurt Busiek. Well, except for one of them. One of them is written by the late great Joe McDuffie. This book contains issues of Action Comics 847, Superman 668 to 670, and the backup story from Superman 13. I know that because I've looked it up, and the first story is just an epilogue to the storyline Camelot Falls. This story is really good. It's basically just a continuation of the Last Sun storyline, which is really the Last Sun of Krypton story. This is just simply deal with some of the after effects of that, and plus you get a ton of appearances by Supergirl in a lot of this stuff. And a lot of this is really good. The artwork in here, for the most part, is done by Rick Lardy. He does the Kryptonian story. The Best Day is done by Renio Gallagher, which is co-written by the great Fabian Nicieza. And Mizzle, the artwork is done by same person. Here's a sample of Rick Liberty's pencils. Yeah, that is great pencils right there. Alright? And as for some other artwork, let's see here. Here's some other artwork. Yeah. Despite the fact you also get a ton of appearances, a lot of this book is populated by Supergirl, and this is the Kara Zero Supergirl. You also get appearances by Power Girl, the Tim Drake Robin, Batman. A good chunk of characters, which is nice. Yep. You also get sort of like an origin story of one of the characters who appear in this particular story, but otherwise, this is really good. Very thin. This book itself was only released 8 years ago, and I think the book can use new printing. I think DC should give new printings for a lot of their older stories that come out in like the last decade or so. I mean, doing it for the Bat books. Why not are they doing that for Superman? Which begs the question, why don't they take care of Superman properly? So, this is really good. Here's what the cover looks like. Oh, shoot. I can't exactly show it. No, wait. There we go. That's what the cover looks like. So, another 9 out of 10. This is really good. Alright, next up is a book that for a lot of people it was their favorite tie-in series out of Secret War because it brought back something that people have wanted to see for about 10 years. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows by Dan Slott with artwork by Andy Kubert. Which this book contains the entire 5-issue miniseries of the Renew Your Vows and one of the stories from the original Spider-Verse miniseries. Not the one published on Secret Wars, the original one. This didn't always make it wasn't my top 5 when it was coming out, definitely, but didn't make number 1, mainly because there's some other good stories that came out the same week. It's just how I made up stuff, but I didn't hate this. No, I enjoyed this. I really did. I mean, yes, it's one of those Warzone series. Now, for a lot of people, this was their favorite one. Or basically, they'll probably say, oh, this is the best miniseries out of Secret Wars. I do kind of agree. I don't think it's the best one, but I think it's one of the best ones. Heck, I have a positive connection to that with books like Guardians of Nowhere, Old Man Logan. I mean, there's a few other good stories that are up there. Oh, Days of Future Past. That's also a really good one. I mean, there's some good Secret Wars series that has both good artwork and good writing. There are some. Heck, I could make a top 10 best Secret Wars miniseries list. Yeah. But basically, here's a sample of, yeah, Andy Kubert does the first 3 issues in here. But the last couple of issues basically does the artwork with Scott Hanna. Here's a sample of Andy Kubert's artwork. An interesting little effect by Andy Kubert. Just like John Romita Jr., push it up, him and his brother are actually the sons of another famous comic artist, Joe Kubert. Yep, so you have at least a few artists who actually have famous artist fathers in the comic industry. So, points to them. And this is definitely really good. People wanted to see these two as a couple, at least a married couple. People have waited for so long to get that stupid One More Day story to be retconned. This is just a version where it never happened. And of course a version where their daughter happened. Now people wanted to see Mayday Parker, but Annie is still really good. Yes. Now, the one thing I kind of agree with some people on this, that this miniseries is one small little problem. And what is that problem? Regent. Regent is not that good of a villain. He's not interesting at all, and yet for some reason, Slott brought him back. And a backup. Twice. Nothing's been done with him. From Guardians of Nowhere, they brought in that Destroyer of Destroyers. And the pages of Uncanny Humans, they brought in Black Bolt's Bar. Bringing him in wasn't a bad idea, but this is still a great miniseries, and I give this book a 9.5. Well, in case you're wondering, 9.5 out of 10. In case you're wondering what the story is of this one, it's just, well, besides the fact, it's just kind of like, what if One More Day never happened, and what if they had their little girl? Basically, there's this domain, and apparently they're trying to take on Doom. That's the... Dang it, with that damn phone. Anyways, basically, Regent has either captured or killed most of this domain's superheroes, except for a small handful of them, like the Mockingbird and Hawkeye. They're still alive. Apparently, Sandman's double agent. And it's nice to see Spider-Man villains show up in here. Now, this is something a bit unusual. Spider-Man kills his villains in this story. I think at least 2 villains die in this story that are killed at the hands of Spider-Man himself. He did the same thing in the storyline Reign, but of course it was an older Spider-Man, so he killed up pretty much almost all the members of the Sinister Six. Yep. Of course, his appearance began the story by Venom, which is Eddie Brock, definitely. But yeah, fun story to read, and for a lot of people, especially someone I know named Tivia, be very happy to see this on my show. The fact it's here, and I give it a 9.5 out of 10. He'd probably give it a 10 if he reviewed it in trade. I'm giving 9.5 because it's not exactly entirely perfect, but I give it the extra point. I give it the extra half point because you get a chance to see these two together again. That's the only reason I give it mainly a 9 because it's not perfect, and I gave it the extra one because you get a chance to see these two together again. Really good. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for episode 148 and Doubleshot number 1. Episode 214 and Doubleshot 148, okay? Excuse me. Until then, see you there. Bye.